Our series, A More Perfect Union, aims to show that what unites us as Americans is far greater than what divides us. And that principle was embodied by Rosa Parks, whose actions inspired the civil rights movement. She was arrested 64 years ago this week for not giving up her seat to a white passenger on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama. CBS This Morning Saturday co-host Michelle Miller is at the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C., where a new exhibit is detailing Parks' life. Good morning, Michelle. What can people see there?
They can see a whole lot. We can tell you, we grew up with that story, right? It was told to us in school. Our parents shared it with us. But this exhibit gives us a full picture of her life, her decade of activism before that event, her struggle and triumph after it. Through her writings, memorabilia, and 2,500 photographs, the Library of Congress is showing us that Rosa Parks was no accidental activist.
Few people in this world have launched a revolution sitting down.
That day, Ms. Parks said, "This is it.
Enough is enough.
Enough is enough."
For that reason, Librarian of Congress Carla Hayden is giving Rosa Parks a closer look.
What do you want to show me first?
The impact of her family history.
Hayden says the exhibit, Rosa Parks, in her own words, reveals a granddaughter of slaves, from teen rebel defying injustice to NAACP leader to civil rights icon.
You see in her own handwriting, her thoughts, her inner feelings, and she had such poetry.
There is just so much hurt.
Adrienne Cannon curated the collection, which contains more than 7,000 of Parks' writings.
I had been pushed around all my life, and I felt at this moment I couldn't take it anymore.
But Cannon says while writing, often on recycled paper, Parks found her voice strategizing against segregation.
It was Mrs. Parks' plan all along to do everything she could in order to get equality for African Americans.
Fred Gray was fresh out of law school in 1954 when he worked with Parks and the NAACP to counsel blacks jailed under segregation laws.
My first civil rights case was Claudette Carbon, the 15-year-old girl who on March 2nd, 1955, did the same thing that Rosa Parks did, but did it 9 months before.
Colvin's case may have set an example, but not the stage. That came on December 1st, 1955.
I was
Jane Gunter, a then pregnant military wife, is the only other person to admit she was there.
All of a sudden, there was a tall man standing in front of me. I stood up and said, "Oh, she can have my seat." And when I said that, he pushed his knees into my knees and said, "Don't you dare."
When she realized years later what she'd witnessed, she called to meet Parks.
Did she remember you? No, she didn't remember me. I said the story about the tall man, and she instantly said, "You were there. You were there."
Parks' conviction launched the year-long bus boycott in Montgomery.
They knew that there would be some event that would allow them to put the plans in action.
Montgomery, Alabama.
A charismatic new preacher that had come to town didn't hurt either.
At present, we are in the midst of a protest.
Protests sparked by a woman who never rested, who believed the struggle continues. And now everyone can see the impact of both her actions and words.
Her writings are right here with Thomas Jefferson, with Thurgood Marshall, with all of these other people. Her writings are right here.
And so is her family Bible, one of the many dresses that she made, and the Presidential Medal of Freedom she was awarded back at the White House in 1996. This exhibit opens today. It's free to the public, and it's well worth a visit. Anthony?
And I really, really want to go, Michelle. Thank you very much. What, no accidental activist.
No.
Not at all.